Hello everyone. In today's video, let us learn about modification of instinct. In the earlier lecture, we have learned about the meaning of the instinct, and in today's class, we shall learn about the modification of the instinct. It has already been mentioned from the Darwinian viewpoints that the genetic and environmental influences it determines the man's behavior. So, from the viewpoints of genetic influence or inherited potentialities, particularly from the distinct instinctive point of views, there is not so much difference between the man and the lower class organisms, we can say. So, Freud also have laid stress on the animal nature of man at the time of formulating his theory of the instinct, and as the proof of it, the then instinct of man, it is the manifestation of such animal nature. So psychologists and philosophers they have laid stress on the intellectual abilities and the rational powers which differ from animal in degree and not in kind have differentiated men from the animals. So for the development of intellectual abilities and the rational powers, man's instinctive potentialities it is to be modified. So reversely, instinctive potentialities are the crude form of behavior which are to be polished or channelized to make the man rational. And here at this point, a question like can instinct be modified or are instinct modifiable comes to our mind. So we are going to discuss that way. So let us discuss the McDougall's viewpoint regarding that. McDougall's views in this respect are sufficient to have the answer of the question. McDougall has pointed out three main aspects or functions of the instinct. Firstly, cognitive or perceptual aspect, cognitive or motivational aspect, and finally, affective or emotional aspect. So in the words of McDougall, the affective or the emotional aspect of instinct, it is inherited and therefore no modification is possible through experience or learning. However, the perceptual and motivational aspects can be modified by experience or training or either by learning. So after McDougall, even William James has offered some important views in this respect. James classified the major instinct in infants and adults, and in his views, crying, biting, moving, and vocalizing are some of the major instincts. Likewise, imitation, pugnacity, hunting, play, love, fear, and jealousy are the major instincts in the adults. And accordingly, instincts were self-preservative and unlearned. And despite such nature of the instinct, in the words of James, these were not blind as well as invariable. So instinct it were modifiable by habit. Modification of instincts, how it can be done, thus from the following perceptions of Darwin, Freud, by McDougall and William James, it may be concluded that for the emergence of desirable qualities of man's character and personality, instinctive activity should be rationalized. So, for better social life, such activities should be rationalized according to the value system of the societies, and there lies the necessities of modification of instinctive activities. And psychologists have prescribed some more common methods or devices for the modification of instinctive activities of the human individuals. Method for modification of instinct. The use of pleasure and pain method or principle, the principle of the disuse, the use of complete freedom, the repression method, substitution principle, catharsis, and sublimation method. The use of pleasure and pain. The general tendency of men's activities are to reach the set goal to satisfy the felt needs. So men tries to repeat the pleasurable experiences or behavior and avoid or eliminate or get rid of the painful experiences or the behavior. So thus to reduce and discourage the effect of harmful instinct, that is instinctive reaction that violates the social norms of behavior, the pain principle, that is punishment may be given. So likewise, the instinctive reactions that help to uplift the norms of behavior may be encouraged by the principle of pleasure, that is by reward. The next is the principle of disuse. Disuse principle emphasizes on the discouraging exercises, or this means the process of blocking, diverting, and non-repetition of the harmful instinct. And the combat instinct, for example, may either be blocked by punishment or diverted by changing the play group or peer group, we can say. Next is the use of complete freedom. Complete freedom has special importance for self-learning. It was Rousseau who put importance on discipline by the natural consequences. And this great naturalist believed that instincts are the native and natural tendencies of the human being, which should be developed naturally without any external restrictions. So psychological complexities may be created by the repression of instinctive urges, which may again complicate the behavioral manifestation. So thus the principle of freedom should be applied for better and balanced development of the personality. Now let us see the other method, that is the repression method. Repression is a process by the help of which the unfulfilled desires may be forcefully driven back to the unconscious level of our mind. So the unpleasant and harmful instinctive reactions, it may be controlled by repression, and repression, it is a process by the help of which controlled manifestation of instinctive reactions may be practiced. So psychologists, they are of the opinion that repression, it is a harmful means of the modification of the instinctive reactions. So if the volume of repression increases, a psychic complexity may take place for which abnormality or various mental ailments may come to light. So this method should be used carefully and thoughtfully in a very organized way. The next method we have is the substitution principles. Substitution means the process of replacement. So to avoid the harmful effect of instinctive reaction, such instinct may instead of repression be substituted, and this helps to reduce the painful effect of non-fulfillment of the instinctive urges, and this process gives a suitable outlet to satisfy and discharge instinctive urges in a very pleasurable way without disturbing the psychological needs of an individual. Now let us see the next principle, that is the catharsis. The term catharsis means to purge out or to drive out, and this is a psychological term which means the purging out of the harmful effect of the instinctive reactions. And by the help of catharsis, the repressed instinctive it urges may be driven out from the mind to keep its normal health alive, and this is a clinical device for mental treatment by the help of which mental repression is reduced, and for better manifestation of the mental energies, play is one of the suitable means, and this helps to maintain the mental balance, and it is possible with the help of the catharsis. Next, we have the sublimation method. Sublimation in brief means the gratification of a frustrated motive via a substitute activity. So Ross has defined the term as sublimation is the word used to describe the process of redirecting an instinct from its primitive biological goal to one that is socially and individually uplifting. So sublimation is one of the methods with the help of which the instinctive reactions may be socialized or we can modify. So let us see the educational significance of the instinct. Modification of human behavior, it is one of the prime importance of every processes of education, and it has already been discussed that it is the intellectual activities and the power of reasoning which have differentiated man from the other lower class organisms. So therefore, without intellectual development and rationality, man cannot cross the limit of animality, and thus to understand individuality and individual differences, needs, drives, motives and instinctive reactions should be thoroughly studied and analyzed. So in the process of education, the needs, drives, motives and instinctive urges have special significance. After birth, all these, especially the instinctive urges, remain in the state of immaturity and imperfection. So manifestation of the instinctive urges takes place through the psychophysical nature of the child. So among all the instinct, some instinct like the curiosity, construction, acquisition, gregarious, self-assertion, combat, mating, and laughter, etc., have special educative value, and these instincts are educational very significant. Curiosity and construction instinct may be led towards discovery and development of the new ideas and the things, and children may be encouraged to collect rare materials and historical, cultural, and scientific values among them may be encouraged by the help of the acquisition of the instinct. The feeling of belonging and the sense of self-importance may be encouraged by the help of gregarious instinct. Spirit of competition may be developed through curricular and co-curricular activities among children by the help of the self-assertion instinct. And combat instinct may be channelized to socially acceptable channel by imparting training in boxing, maybe wrestling, judo, etc. And mating instinct may be supplemented or redirected into a channel leading to individual and social welfare. Laughter may be encouraged in making learning joyful. So let us come to the concluding remarks that man is a social animal, and therefore man's instinctive reactions should be modified to help to encourage his or her social self, and without modification of instinctive reactions, man's social nature cannot be focused. So to make man a social being in his true sense, modification of the instinctive urges have the utmost significance, and it was McDougall who considered all the instinct highly important because directly or indirectly they were considered to be prime moves of all activity and tend to determine the ends of all activities and supply the driving power. And this assertion of McDougall helps us to understand the educational significance of the instinct. So thank you.